I just seen a very important TikTok. I'm not going to say the person's name or anything, but they're one of my favorite TikTokers. If they see this, I hope they do at least react. Basically, they were saying that they're going to start being nicer to themselves. They said, instead of being so negative about themselves all the time, instead of constantly cutting yourself down and letting those intrusive thoughts win, or those negative intrusive thoughts is what I like to call them, win, say something nice about yourself. Instead of all day, what I used to do all day was say, well, I'm obviously worthless, stupid, a piece of, and all these things I would say about myself. Those things weren't true. People made me believe they were true, and then I started to think those things about me, and I started to project that onto myself, and in turn, it affected my mental health, which is what this other TikToker said. What I am saying here is self-positive affirmations saved my life. And if you have not started to do self-positive affirmations, I highly recommend them. You can do them in many ways. Basically, when I get a self-hatred or negative intrusive thought out loud, I counteract it with something positive. Like, I'll just say I'm awesome out of nowhere if my brain tells me I'm not. Or I'll put on my positive Lizzo or my Cardi B music or whatever music I need to get through the day that I can sing and project that. Basically, I'll listen to a song and I'll pretend like I'm the one who wrote it when I'm singing it, so that I can get myself positive affirmations out through music. But yeah, basically, if you are constantly mean to yourself, if you are constantly telling yourself that you're a piece of shit, you're worthless, you're no good like I used to, your brain starts to believe it. If people are constantly putting you down, telling you you're worthless, a piece of shit, good for nothing, your brain starts to believe it. If we don't, as people, counteract these things with positive self-affirmations or do something about it, then our mental health ends up in a really bad place. Depression, anxiety, psychosis. So many things can come from being mean to your brain. So try to see yourself the way the world sees you and be nicer to yourself and be nicer to others, because why be mean when you can be nice? That's really a great question. So, the TikToker that I was speaking of earlier said that they were going to start saying nice things about themselves and be overly confident until they believed it, because all the negative they had in their life was making them feel so down and affecting their mental health. Same here. So I just started saying nice, cool, awesome, I'm so awesome, I'm the best, I'm so cool, I'm so beautiful. Even if I didn't believe it at the time, it took me time for my mind to start believing it, and then I started to grow a little bit of confidence. I still struggle with that, but it helped tremendously, and it took me a couple years to get where I wanted, but I mean, it's worth it. My outlook on life and my perspective has changed. Don't get me wrong, I still cry often. I still have panic attacks. I still suffer from a lot of mental health issues. But at least I can say now that I do like who I am. I am proud of who I am, proud of where I came from. And a lot of that has to do with forcing and tricking my brain to believe it. One of my good friends told me, if you say something out loud 10 times, your mind starts to believe it. And she was like, stop being so mean to yourself. You need to be nicer to yourself. You need to see yourself the way the world sees you. And that helped. And I started doing things like self-positive affirmations and remembering that if I say that I'm awesome out loud 10 times a week, over time, my mind will start to think that I am awesome. I will believe it. And that's what I will portray. So basically, it's like trick your brain into thinking positive instead of negative, and not overtly positive where it's like that toxic positivity I don't believe in. We are human. We do have emotions. We have ranges of emotions. I'm not always positive, but I do self-positive affirmations to counteract the negative self-hatred that I've suffered from and I've always suffered from, as well as the self-hating, negative, intrusive thoughts that I can't control, because I do have schizoaffective disorder. So I do have a voice inside my head that's uncontrolled that just jabs sometimes words into my head. And what I do to counteract that, like, I have to do self-positive affirmations. I do them out loud. I'll even sing a song and pretend that I'm the one that wrote it. For example, Lizzo, Good as Hell. For me, that does it. I hope this helps. And that's how I started. And some people will write things down. Some people will, like, a great example I read online was name your plant the same name as you, and every time you tell your plant that it's beautiful, say the name out loud and it's your name and you're saying it back to yourself. So you can do self-positive affirmations like that. And obviously, if you have plants, you want to be positive and uplifting to them. because that's also been proven by science that if you're negative to things, it will die faster. Same with human beings. It will wither you way faster mentally.